So I mentioned in the last episode that I wanted to start moving more things into Oklahoma City. Specifically, I want to start bringing some goods down here because we have goods production up by Montgomery and we are moving goods into Montgomery. The problem is that traffic in and around Oklahoma City is terrible again, which is sort of a recurring thing I'm noticing with a lot of my cities, to be quite honest with you, and it's something that we are going to need to address. And I have a few ideas for how I can do that. We have Oklahoma Bricks delivery, for example, which does come along this avenue, cuts up by the station, cuts in this way, and it's having some issues. The rate is a little bit lower than I would like, and I think part of that is because the trucks are getting stuck in traffic. But what I thought we could do is flip it around, because realistically, there's not that much traffic coming down this road. So if I wanted to, I could have my trucks sort of come down here and then cut across and head back out to the truck depot, or I could have them do something like that. Long story short, I'm thinking that Oklahoma Bricks delivery is going to need to get flipped around. So before we go ahead and do that, what I'm going to do is come in here and get myself a few more truck unload stops. So we're going to want one right about here, and then we'll come over this way and we'll get one. We could keep it on this avenue, but realistically, I think we just do here. I think we just have the trucks go straight across and that'll be totally fine. So we'll go for this spot right about here. And then I think we have some stuff down here that might need delivered. But what we could do is come in this way, go straight to this stop, go straight to this stop, loop down to this one because this avenue's not that busy either. And then we just head back out sort of the way we come in here. So let's go and see if that's possible. Let's figure out if this is going to work. We're starting with Oklahoma City West, which is not going to be changing. So the entire way down here, we clear everything out. We go add station. And what I want to do is I want to go to here, and then I want to go to here, and then I want to come down to this stop, which should look, yep, loops around absolutely no problem. The only issue is it's using all of these roads to get around. I want it to go the other way. So the long and short of this whole thing is that I want this avenue to be used to get out. I want this road up here to be used to get in, which means basically, I think I just need a waypoint right about here and a waypoint right about here. And then if I get rid of this one, I don't think we need it. But if I go back to manage line, we can say after Oklahoma City West, you go here. After South Street, you go here. And it does cut across itself, but that should be a little bit better, and it's going to take all of those trucks off of this road over here. It still does the same delivery route. It's just, well, a similar delivery route. It's just a little bit better for us. Now, let me just double check. Does anyone go here now? They do not. So we can get rid of you since it's not being used. And I think that'll keep us pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. We do still have guys coming down in here, which is fantastic. So that'll be good in terms of getting those specific trucks out of this main part of Oklahoma City. That'll hopefully ease up traffic a little bit. And then we kind of just need to figure out what we're doing with the buses, because they are making up a major part of the traffic in here as well. Some of those are coming from Huntsville. We could look at maybe pushing that line around a little differently, although it is using the highway, which is kind of what I wanted it to be doing. I don't know if more lanes are going to be the solution here. We could upgrade this major road to have 3 lanes the entire way through here. That would give us some dedicated left and right turns, which might be good. I think we'll do that anyway, even though I'm not convinced it's going to work. So we're going to be moving a lot of buildings around here, which is totally fine. They'll rebuild in, well, I'd say no time, but they take a little while to rebuild, but we'll go ahead and upgrade it at least to here. And I think that's about as far as I want to go with those upgrades, to be completely honest, because it doesn't make sense to have 3 lanes up here since it's only, you know, left and right. There's no straight on section. I think what we can also do is maybe go in here and, you know what I've realized? I've realized that we have no consistent way from sort of top to bottom here. We have this road, this major road that comes in here, which is crazy busy, by the way. Traffic here is just, I don't know what we're going to do about this, but it doesn't continue the entire way through. And reasonably, it probably should. That's probably part of the problem. So let's try and figure this out a little bit. Let me take this road out of here because I don't particularly care for it. Let me take this road out of here and this road out of here as well. In fact, this is going to be a lot of remodeling for Oklahoma City, but I think in the long term, this is going to be the right choice. to just have a few less intersections on everything. And I'm pretty sure I could get rid of this road as well. I think that's what we're going to do. Take out this road completely and just have some slightly larger blocks that obviously will need redeveloped, but I think that's for the best. I think down here we can do the same thing. It is going to get rid of some huge buildings, but I think, again, that might be for the best. Connecting it to this road might not be the best idea, but it's what we're going to do. And then looking over here, I think this one can probably go. And I want to say that this can go as well. So that just gives us some slightly larger blocks at that top end of town. We'll go ahead and reconnect some of those roads around a little bit. So these guys are still connected across here. This guy is going to be connected straight through here, which is hopefully going to be good for us. So that road goes away. And then this little connection does sort of bother me. So I'm tempted to say that this would go as well. And what we do instead is just bring a road straight through, a little something like this, and that might be the better choice. So we'll go ahead and build that. And then I want to make sure this road is locked because I don't really want anything else building on it. So we'll go ahead and it is locked actually. That's good. That's kind of perfect. So clear you out as well. We could maybe lock these roads up here because I think that is going to end up being something that the city tries to rebuild on. I think this one at least is going to be locked and upgraded because I'm noticing it can just push straight through to this connection, which might actually be a good idea. So take you out as well. I think that's the right choice. I do. I think this can be locked as well. We'll let stuff build in here. We'll let stuff kind of rebuild down here, but we're not going to let anything connect to those main roads. We're not letting anything connect to these main roads. And we're already not letting anything connect to this main road down here either. So that should keep us in a good spot. I think same thing over here, to be brutally honest. We kind of cap this off a little bit. We stop people from building on all of those. And we'll just see how that goes. It is very tempting though. Now that I look at this, it's very tempting to get rid of this road completely and just push an avenue straight up through here. Because that's kind of going to give us that straight route through the middle of the city as well. So I think that's another thing we can maybe do here. Just a massive remodel in Oklahoma. This isn't really what I'd planned on doing today, but I'm hoping that it's going to be good for the city. That's the goal here. Whether or not it is, I have my doubts, but we're going to figure it out together is what we're going to do. Now we'll go up to about here. I don't want, oh wait, hold on. Do I want bridges? I mean, I don't want that. That's hideous, but this, honestly, I'm not against it. I am not against that idea at all. Having a little bridge that cuts over some of the roads. That seems kind of, I mean, it would be unique for one of my cities thus far. So can I make that happen? I guess, oh, hold on. There is a spot there where it sort of works. I mean, that's kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit ugly. I'll give it that. It is a little bit ugly, but it's also, it's kind of neat. I kind of like it. So I'm going to build that and then I'm going to demolish it and see if I can make it look better without those weird little ramps that lead up to it. So if I just reconnect this, oh, it just wants to go to ground level now, does it? There we go. Still a bit of a sharp ramp here though. That's a problem. Can I lower that down at all? Can I make this work? I absolutely can actually. Again, it doesn't look great though. I'll give it that. It really doesn't, but I think I might allow that. Or just redo this entire section of road completely. That might be a better idea, actually. If I just take you guys out and then bulldoze this whole part, I'm kind of wondering if I just connect this, it's at ground level, which is fine. Then this thing can sort of punch through. And yeah, that's definitely the right choice. That is definitely the right choice. And then if I rebuild all of this, is it now going to look better? Am I going to regret demolishing this whole thing? You know, I think that's fine. It's never going to be perfect, but I think that's totally fine. We'll go ahead and just smooth out the terrain around here. We'll smooth out some of this terrain as well. It's going to be a bit messy going up into the hills, but that's just how it's going to be. I'm also looking at this road and thinking that what I might do is bring this guy a little further out of the top of Oklahoma City. We'll switch it over to a large country road and sort of curve it this way so it kind of connects to this road somewhere like here. Or alternatively, I think maybe we just change the way this connection is completely. Maybe this sort of comes over to here. So we'll have that connection. We'll take this guy right back to the highway. So back to about there should be fine. And I should then be able to just sort of curve this around, which is completely okay. I think we're going to change that out for the smaller road because I think that makes a bit more sense. And then this road up here, I think what we do is we go ahead and just bring something off of this intersection. It's a little bit nasty looking, maybe a little bit unnecessary, but I think it's what we're going to go for. So we'll build you. We can curve you around. Ugh, maybe not. Hold on a minute. Let me let me fix that. Let me bring you out here. Did that do what I wanted it to do? There we go. Is that going to be a bit of a better curve? It is much better. Okay. So I think that's what we do. We can smooth all of this out as well. Smooth all of this out. And then that gives us a pretty straight shot down through the middle of the city, straight down towards Salem. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It does get rid of some unnecessary connections that we might have had. It does. That could be a tunnel, couldn't it? Hold on a minute. Can I build a tunnel through this hill so that we actually avoid all those neighborhoods up there as well? Is that an option? It is. Although apparently it's got too much. Oh, because it's connecting here. Okay. You know, I'm sort of here for that. I'm not going to lie. I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and just flatten some of this terrain so that I can absolutely guarantee a tunnel coming through there. And if I just connect you guys together, that's sort of what I'm looking for. So that should be pretty good. If we smooth this terrain, can I get those roads to reconnect? Is that going to be an option? I'm sort of hoping that I can because I do like the idea of this connection, and I absolutely. Ooh. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Let's put a little connection here, bulldoze you, and let's see what that looks like. So that is, it's not great, is it? Can I raise it up a little bit? Yeah. Can I go a little further? Because it still looks like it's, well, no, it is technically above the tunnel. It is definitely technically above the tunnel. We'll go a little lower. We'll go something like this, I guess. And then again, we hit it with a smoothing brush, and I think that's going to be fine. It has the connection up over the hill. That's all right. We have the tunnel straight through. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. I really do. It's a really, I've not really messed around with cities too much like this before, but that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and let that run, and we'll see how that plays out. Traffic has to adjust both in terms of my line that I've adjusted, and traffic going north to south has to be adjusted. But it is now a straight shot towards that highway, which I think is better. And I guess, speaking of things in the north, we really need to start working on this little situation up here. So this guy is still storing 12,000 plastic, which is sort of to be expected. I think it's going to be a long time before we see that get adjusted. But if we have a look over at this guy, we're still using the old trucks to bring both the coal and the steel in here. So let's get both of you guys updated to some more recent trucks. I think that'd be a great idea. So we'll swap you out for the Peterbilt 359. We'll swap you out for the Peterbilt 359 as well. That gives us 570 and 579 on the rates. Can I get one more vehicle in here? Because I'm pretty sure the max on this is 200 for the production. So one more vehicle in there brings us to 598. And then one more vehicle in here for the coal brings us to 598. That is... I couldn't ask for it to be more perfect. That is absolutely what we're looking for. So we'll be bringing a bit more coal down here, a bit more iron down here, which means production here should increase a little bit, which is exactly what we're looking for. Although I will say that shipment situation is a bit of a problem. We need to start moving slag out of here to get this guy to upgrade. So we're going to have to look at some construction material production at some point here. But we'll do that, I think, maybe after we deal with the goods situation, because ideally what we're going to be seeing is a bunch of goods heading down to both Huntsville and to Oklahoma City. So let's have a look and see what we can do in terms of those production lines. So goods coming into Oklahoma, they're wanted right in here, which is making me think that this Meadow Street depot is probably good enough to cover that. So that's going to be good. That means we're not going to be going too crazy with the trucks. So I think what we'll do is just keep things really, really simple. We'll go new line. We'll set it up from here. It is going to come right down to Meadow Street. and it is using, well, it's not using the highway, but it doesn't need to use the highway, which I think is fair enough. I'm tempted to say we bring it down and have it hit the highway and use this intersection, but I think that road isn't crazy busy anyway, so that should be fine. So we'll get this line set up. It's going to be road cargo. It is going to be Montgomery, and it is going to be, what is it, goods to, I'm just going to start abbreviating Oklahoma. We'll say goods to OK. It's so much, it's just easier than trying to spell it out every time. It's so much easier. And then the Montgomery lines, I think, are that light blue color, right? Yeah. So that's absolutely what we're looking for. Montgomery sidings, I need you to be picking up nothing but goods, so we're not getting confused there. And then we set up another one for Huntsville. Now, Huntsville wants goods sort of in this area. So you're going to be bringing things in on the highway here. You could come down. We could have you go to maybe here. And then you'll go back out on the highway, and I think that should be fine. So let's get this one set up as well, I guess. Very, very simple. From Montgomery sidings right down to this guy. It is surprisingly not using the highway to get in, which, I mean, sort of makes sense, to be quite honest. I guess it doesn't need to, but I want it to. So I'm going to say hit that highway, use the same road as the other line. You're just, you know, actually getting up onto the highway this time. You cut down, you cut around. That's totally fine. So again, we'll say road cargo. We will say it is Montgomery, and it is going to be goods to, I'm just going to say Hunts as well. I'm going to start abbreviating everything because it's so much easier. We'll get you painted up to be the right color, and then we just need some trucks for all of this. So we'll use the Huntsville depot to grab them. We'll get ourselves maybe, I don't know, 4 of the Peterbilt trucks. They're moving goods, which is cardboard boxes. So we'll go for, doesn't really matter what color we go for. You know what? We'll go for this color right here for these trucks. And these guys are going to go on the, where is it? I'm always scrolling through this. I never see what I'm looking for. It's going to be the, this will be the Huntsville one. We'll grab 4 more of them and put those on the Oklahoma one. We'll make those guys a slightly different color. We'll go for this, which I think is a little bit lighter, and that'll be all right. So this is going to be the Huntsville one. I've just immediately forgotten how many trucks I did. Yeah, I did the, I just immediately forgot what line I put those on. So you need to go on the Oklahoma line. This is a really good example of, my brain being a little bit too smooth for my own good. The thoughts just slide right off. So circling back to Oklahoma traffic for a little bit, something I'm actually considering here is that maybe this Oklahoma Loop 2 could move around a little bit differently. It might not be a bad idea to try and send it in the opposite direction for this space. That way it sort of comes back up on Sunset Street. And I mean, yes, it's going to be adding to the traffic on Sunset Street going north, but it will help to clear out this street, which I think is going to be for the best. And then if we, I'm actually going to pin you. Oklahoma Loop 1 is not a whole lot better, and Loop 3, we have a look at Loop 1 actually, doesn't it? It goes up around there. Yeah, so Loop 1 is potentially also one that we want to loop the other way. That might be what we want to do here. So let me just have a little bit of a look and see what we can do. So we do have a waypoint on this side of the road. So this Sunset Street stop would move to either down here or up here. I'm going to say up here would probably be better. So we'll put a stop right about here, and that should be fine. We've got this Franklin Street one, which honestly, I don't know if we need it. We could move it down to here, if anything, but it's kind of right in the middle of this district. To be quite honest, we could do a stop here and not have Davis and Franklin Street completely. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to move you to here. The Ash Street stop can move to, I'm going to say right there, so it is still sort of in place. And that should be fine, right? So if we go and manage this line, we want to take out everything but Taylor Street and see what we can do here. So Taylor Street then goes down this way, which is not doing what I want it to do. I want you to go to the other platform, so you're looping down. This guy was coming down to this side of things, which is now doing what I want it to do. And then this guy's going up to here. So that limits it to 4 stops. But if we look at it, that is going to be flowing a little bit better, I think. So that should keep us in a pretty good spot, I think. It's covering everything I want it to cover. It's covering this sort of this quarter of the city pretty well. We'll need to expand it further down if and when we build in this space, but I think for now that's going to be a little bit better. And then if we look at loop number 1, I almost want to say it's the same sort of story. I think loop number 1, we want to send it in the opposite direction. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves a stop right about here. We'll keep loop 1 pinned, and we have a stop on this side up here already, which is great. And then we'll go and do same thing here. We want to do the same thing up here as well. In fact, do I want to expand further? No, I don't think I do. We'll go to about here, and then over this way, exactly the same thing. And that should be about everything. So we'll manage the line. We want to go all the way back to just Taylor Street on this one as well. And it's going to take a second to update every single time I get rid of a line, apparently. There we go. So you are going to come out, and you are now going to go to here, which is, by the looks of it, going to block a little bit of my traffic. I think loop number 3 might be looping around in a bit of a weird way right now, but honestly, not the end of the world. Have you go to platform 1, please, and then cut up this way, which is apparently a bit of a problem. Interesting. Not really sure why that's a problem, but you're going to continue this way, and you, wait, no, you don't go to there. Did I put you on a truck stop? I did put you on a truck stop, didn't I? So you're not going that way. You are, in fact, going to go to this stop, and then over to this one. You're going to continue across to this one, and that should now have you looping around in a way that's going to be a little bit better for you, which is absolutely perfect. So yes, it's still covering the same space. It's just doing it a little bit better. And then Cedar Street also has loop 3 using that same stop. And that's because I did move loop 3 up to use Cedar Street. I'm going to say that I don't necessarily need to do that though. I think I can maybe get away with not doing that. Hold on, let me unpin you. Let me have a look at you. So yeah, this one's also looping around in a way that I'd want it to. My only concern is that it's going to get stuck in traffic as the buses try stopping here, which is definitely a bit of an issue. It's also going to get stuck behind loop 1 buses here, which is also a bit of an issue. So maybe we go back to having this stop be a little bit lower. It was originally sort of down here. So if I do that for loop number 3, we want to take out Cedar Street completely. So it cuts straight across. So Taylor Street goes straight to this stop, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare for traffic by the looks of it. But you know what? I'm sort of willing to let that be a thing. And you know what I'm also kind of willing to do here is upgrade these roads just a little bit further. I think we can upgrade to about here. That'll give us a few more lanes to play with. And I think that'll be okay. I'd even go so far as here. So we have 2 dedicated for straight on, 1 dedicated for left. We'll see how that plays out. And I can put bus lanes in here, which I haven't really played with yet, but I've seen so many people telling me that I need to do bus lanes. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time that I play around with bus lanes a little bit and see what happens. I don't have the slightest idea how they work. And by the looks of it, it's put them on the wrong side, which isn't really what I'm looking for. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh no, that worked totally as expected. It put them on both sides. Never mind. I am in fact an idiot. So let me have a look. We have buses going that way. We have buses going that way. We have buses going that way. We have no buses coming in through this space anymore, which is, I guess, okay. It would be nice if I could set the buses up to be, you know, the bus lanes only on one side, but I think we'll give this a shot. Is what we'll do. We'll have sort of bus lanes coming the entire way down here. So loop 1, loop 2, loop 3 continues. So we'll do loop 3 straight down like this. This does also mean that the buses can stay in their lane because the bus lanes have, you know, the ability to go wherever they want. So that should speed things up a little bit. We have buses on this road down here as well, which I'm very tempted to. I think my trucks use the bus lanes as well, right? I don't know if they actually do. I've got no idea, but we're going to give it a shot and we'll see if that helps us out. And then this road, do I want to do bus lanes? I feel like bus lanes on this road would be a terrible idea. I really do. I'm considering them for some of the main roads as well, just to let my traffic get around. I think here it's going to be needed. And we'll see We'll see how that goes. I do have other lines that sort of go around here, but we'll see how the bus lanes play out. I've never really messed with them before, and I'm also kind of thinking in here. In fact, if I upgrade this to have more lanes, and then I do the bus lane upgrade, it still kind of works as, you know, left and right turns only for general traffic, and then left and right for my buses. That could be huge. I've also realized that if I upgrade one of these guys to bus lanes, this might be a bus and truck only road now. That's very tempting. Now, in other news, it does look like the Oklahoma Bricks delivery line is working really nicely. It's not really getting stuck in traffic, which is exactly what we were looking for. So it's moving around doing exactly what it needs to do. It has a rate of 419, while Oklahoma currently wants 326 bricks. So it's a bit of an overachiever is what it is. Although in saying that, I did also bulldoze an entire neighborhood in Oklahoma City, so it stands to reason that they might not be pleased with me right now. I suppose we'll just give things time to... I love that. It's such a cool shot of the plane. That's so good. We'll give things time to work out. At the very least, we do have all of my vehicles moving into their own dedicated lanes, which I think is going to be absolutely fantastic for us. The only issue that I see is that they're probably going to get stuck coming out of here because this is just a tiny little section of road. So I might want to do something about that. I almost wonder if I want to change this to be some kind of one-way road where they go that way. So they come out of here and go to the right and hit this little alleyway. I don't know if that's a good idea, to be quite honest with you, but I think we can give it a shot. We'll change you out for this. We'll get ourselves a little one-way section of road here. We'll do something like this. And let me see what that does. So is that taking any of my lines? It is taking some of them, which is good. I think this guy's also going to get changed out for a bus lane so that we don't have traffic going through there. I think that's kind of, oh wait, no, we do it. Ooh, hold on a minute. Can I change you out for a small little one-way street and just have that? Yeah, there we go. So that's entirely dedicated to buses, which is good. So they are heading out that way. It's at least going to take traffic away from this intersection, which I think is going to be good. And then for this guy, I almost want to say we do the same thing. Although none of the traffic is actually, yeah, no one's coming out of here anymore. So I think we do just change this out for a little one-way road. And I think we do go ahead and just change it to be bus lanes. I think they want to go that, well, I need to turn it around as well. So flip you around a little bit, buddy. So you're heading in that way. And that should keep us pretty good. So we have buses going in, buses coming out. That'll keep us in a pretty good spot. This road in general, I'm very tempted to swap out to also just be for buses. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea, but I think just having my own traffic going up and down there seems like a pretty solid idea. Although in saying that, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Now that I look at it, I mean, they're only using that one lane. They're still backing up in here. So maybe that's a little bit unnecessary. Maybe that's just a little bit, seems a little bit mean, actually, doesn't it? Let's, especially for anyone living or working on that road, suddenly they can't drive home. They've got to park a block away and then walk. Yeah, we'll stick with what I've done here. We'll see how that goes. At the very least, the traffic jam has moved to the other side. So, you know, progress. You know, it's also hit me that the dedicated bus lanes would do potentially some really good work on this road. So I think that is a thing we're going to do, is just put them all the way along here. I think this guy can get them as well and then be upgraded to have a few more lanes though, because that just seems fair. So that way we still have 2 lanes going up to here. It's just that there are now some lanes that are dedicated to my trucks and my traffic, which is hopefully going to mean that they can get around a little bit faster. Yeah, so we can see that they immediately go into their own lanes, which is exactly what we're looking for. Might not be a bad idea to do the same thing down the middle of Salem, but it doesn't seem too busy around there, so I'm not really too worried about that. At the very least, like I said, it should just improve things for my own trucks, which is kind of my priority. That's all I really care about. Although, I'm also sort of thinking this entire road, upgrade to 6 lanes and also bus lanes, because I noticed it was just 2 lanes before. So now I'm just adding, again, some dedicated lanes for my own traffic, which means anyone coming up here and going to the right now has a dedicated lane to do that. And you know what? Just given that we already have some bus lanes up there, we'll do the same thing here. And we'll see if that ends up being good. I'm hopeful that it will. What if I did... No, I'm getting a little carried away with these now, but I could do them on the roundabout as well. Is that going to be reckless though? I want to say that's going to be really... I want to say that's going to be a little bit silly, but you know what? I'm here for it. Let's just go all out. People have been telling me for ages, man, you got to play with the bus lanes. You got to use the bus lanes. And you know what? You were right. You were completely right. Every single one of you on Twitter, on Discord, in Twitch chats, in the YouTube comments, emails, every single one of you was right. I should have been using these for a very long time. Look at this guy. How angry would you be sitting in this absolute nightmare of a traffic jam, and here's just this giant truck just steaming along beside you, just not a care in the world, barreling pickup trucks out of the way. You'd be furious. You would be furious. It's profitable though. It's good for me, so I don't care. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Montgomery goods factory again. We'll get out of Oklahoma for a little bit and just see. Did I just say Oklahoma? We'll get out of Oklahoma for a little bit and take a look here at the Montgomery goods factory and see what exactly we can do with this thing. Because as it stands, we've got about 200 production, 195 in the shipment category there, which basically means we just need more stuff. We got to bring more things in, got to move them out to the different towns that happen to want them. And basically that's what we're doing here. So long story short, I think we just need more steel. We don't need more plastic. We got, 12,000 of that. And we just need more steel is what we need in here. So this guy just needs to be working a little bit better, which honestly, its production is maxed out. So at this stage, this is actually the bottleneck is shipment, because half of what we're producing is slag and the slag isn't going anywhere. So let me upgrade this guy. I'm gonna one day, I think 2025 April Fools, I'm doing an entire video in some accent that isn't mine. I don't know what accent it's gonna be, but it's not gonna be mine, and I'm just not gonna comment on it. It's just gonna be a complete dedication to the bit, and we'll see how annoyed people get. That's we'll see how annoyed people get to that video. Anyway, what I'm gonna do, I think, is set up a new line that's gonna go from this guy, and we're gonna say use platform 1 and use platform 2. So both of those, you are gonna head, I want you to use the highway. So you're going to hit this waypoint, which might not be all that efficient. It really might not be. We might have to bulldoze some of this and figure out a way to get people on the highway right about here, because this traffic here is a nightmare as well. That's going to have to get upgraded. But long story short, we are going to stick on the highway. We are going to stick on the highway up to here, going all the way down. We are going to come around to, I want to say this guy, which is hopefully something we can do. And we're going to come down to this. So we're going to bring that slag right down into Oklahoma. We are going to head back out on the highway, which is what we're doing. We're heading across, which is great. We're sticking on the highway the entire way there. We're heading back through, right through the middle of Montgomery. And long story short, we are picking up slag. We are dropping it off over here. So this is slag right there. But what we can also do is load up on bricks, because Montgomery does want bricks. I don't know where in Montgomery happens to want bricks, but somewhere does. So let's assume that it's probably, well, I don't have to assume, I can just check. So Montgomery, where do you want bricks? Where are we looking? Right here in the middle? Okay. In that case, let me just add a stop right about there. I think is going to be solid. We'll go back to line 1, and we want to manage it. So after Huntsville, I need you to come into this guy. So you're going to cut across. That's where you're going to drop off some bricks, and that'll be a great little delivery. So this is basically set up to pick up some slag, drop it off, pick up some bricks, drop them off, go back and pick up slag, and away you go. So that'll be a way to bring some bricks into Montgomery. So we'll get you set up as road cargo. You are going to be Montgomery. you are going to be slag to bricks to delivery. And that's going to be solid. We'll get you painted up in the color that all of Montgomery lines have. And then basically that's hopefully going to do a really good job for this steel factory. And I'm also thinking, doesn't Huntsville, yeah, Huntsville wants bricks as well. It happens to want 18 of them, and they want them right there sort of in the middle. So what we'll do is kind of a similar story. We'll bring them into about here. We can set up that line to do everything we need it to do. So from this guy right down here, going all the way up to about there. I do want it to use the highway though, as per usual. So you're going to hit the highway there, and then on the way back, you're going to hit the highway there. And again, that's going to mean that we're avoiding so much traffic, which is exactly what we're looking for. So road cargo, it is going to be Hunts. It is going to be bricks delivery. And then Huntsville is that nice sort of green color right about there. So we'll get some trucks for that. It was 18, I think, was the demand here in Huntsville. Yep, 18 bricks. We can take a little bit of a look at the line itself. We'll keep you pinned whilst we get some vehicles, although I'm going to say we probably only need one. We'll get one just to try it out. We'll paint you this color. And you're going road cargo, Hunt's brick delivery. That has a rate of 25. That's better than we need, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's have a look at the other line, where production right now is going to be 200 per year. So, well, production here is 200 slag per year. It's half of the overall production. It's 50-50. So long story short, I keep saying that today. That's kind of that's my thing today, apparently. We need to get enough trucks to get this thing's rate to be about 200. So I'm going to hazard a guess at 5 of them is what we'll go for. We'll paint them, I don't know, we'll go for this color right about here. And let's see what we're looking at. So it is road cargo, it is Mont, and it is slag to bricks to delivery. That gives us a rate of 61. Considerably less than I was thinking. We'll just duplicate that to bring it up to about 120-ish, 121. And that's probably good enough. This doesn't need to be maxed out to upgrade. It just needs to be up to about here, which is what, roughly 300. So we should be able to do that, which means this thing should start to level up, which means more steel for the goods factory, which means more goods for Oklahoma and Huntsville, which means that the goal of today's episode thus far has been a little bit successful. Now, I will say, given that I have a lot of vehicles sort of coming through here, and then I have a lot of vehicles going through here as well, I think we're going to want to make some changes to the roads in Montgomery, because it's a bit of a nightmare right now. So let's start with some extra lanes down this main road. And again, this is going to be me playing around with bus lanes, I guess. We also have this is kind of like a main road in the middle of town as well, now that I think about it. It is quite busy. I don't know why now that I think about it, it is very, very busy. So let me get rid of you because I don't think it's needed. Let me get rid of you because I don't think you're needed. This guy can go as well. And that tidies things up a little bit. Get rid of you because that tidies things up again. These guys keep building. They keep insisting on these roads existing, and I don't want them. So let me lock these roads because it's an absolute mess when there's too many things on it. So we'll do this. And you know, I might lock this whole section as well, just to be safe. In fact, this whole stretch through here, we're going to lock all of that as well. I think this little section could be changed into 4 lanes, so it connects directly to that depot, which seems like a good idea. This road, this is going to get rid of a lot of buildings, but I think this also needs to be upgraded to have a few more lanes as well, because it is quite busy. Although what I might do we have anything of mine using that road? Not really. We have a little section here that's being used, but I think we'll just keep that as is. And then this whole road is quite busy as well. There's a lot of trucks, a lot of vehicles going back and forth there. It's an absolute mass of vehicles around here, actually. Can I upgrade this entire thing? No, because of the train station. Okay. Huh. I don't love that. I'm not gonna lie. So I think what I'll do is upgrade it to about that spot. And we'll hope for the best that improves things. And then I think my other option realistically is I'd love to upgrade this. Annoyingly, Annoyingly, I can do these bits though. And then I have a bridge pillar collision down here, which is really unfortunate. Now I could probably do something about that. I think I should do something about that. So I think I'm going to do something about that. Okay, so it turns out the easiest thing to do was this. Basically just sink the train line down, have the road go up and above it. It doesn't look amazing, but it does the job. And that's kind of all I really care about right now, is that it does the job. I still have my bus lanes. I've still got the trains going. It's totally fine. I did get rid of a connection down here that honestly, I'm not that sad about losing. I might even go so far as to say that I want to lock these roads so that we don't end up getting that connection back, because again, I'm really not that sad about losing it. And if anything, I could probably get rid of this one as well. And then we just sort of have the one entrance to this little neighborhood. Or I just rebuild that. I could just rebuild it myself. That would be an option as well. And I might, I mean, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of people, but realistically, I think that's actually sort of what I'm just going to do, because I don't have anything coming down here. And I think I can go for something that looks a little bit less weird than this sort of diamond diagonal thing that we have going on. And by that, I mean, I'm just going to do grids, really. It's not the most exciting, but it'll do the job. And that's kind of all I'm looking for. So we'll put a little bit of a lock on that road. And what we'll do is bulldoze you for one. Just bring a medium street. I'm going to say straight down here. I might connect it to this guy. I don't know if I want to connect it to this guy. It might be a way for traffic to sort of get through to somewhere in a way that I really don't want it to get through. That might also end up being a good thing. I don't know. I don't know that I want to do that, because we do have a lot of this traffic. Well, they might take traffic away from that road as well. You know what? Let's just go for it. We're going to have a couple of entrances to this little neighborhood. We'll smooth out the terrain so it looks a little bit better. And then I'm just going to very, very simply come in here and rough out some grids, essentially, some little side streets that we can have coming off of here. We can have it going down to there. We're not going to have too much around the roundabout itself, but we'll have these guys come down this way, and we'll do another one right about here. That might be a couple of intersections a little bit close to each other, but again, we'll give it a shot. And then I think, you know, we could maybe get a little one right about here and another one right about here. I don't know what kind of buildings will pop up in there, but that's basically just what we're going to go for. We'll get some stuff on this road as well at some point, I'm sure. I might even go so far as saying that we just build up towards the edge of the platform here as well. Maybe raise it up so it doesn't look quite as terrible. And again, that might give us a little something just next to the train station, which wouldn't be a bad thing. And even if it's not perfectly parallel, I think I'm happier with that than, wait a minute. I just noticed this. I just noticed this guy, this commercial building is, needs goods apparently. That's amazing. That is so good. That is, absolutely not staying, I'm afraid, but that's amazing. I love that. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm letting him stay there, actually. I don't care. That's hilarious. That guy can live there is what he's going to do. That's absolutely perfect. Now, let me have a look in here. How are we doing in terms of traffic? We're not doing much better. It's all bunched up a little bit more. So I do think we want to go in, and I think I am going to just do the bus lanes here as well. I think I'm going to do them on this road too, just because this was originally a 2-lane road. Realistically, all I'm doing is adding it's still 2 lanes for pedestrians. It's now just, you know, I have my own dedicated stuff for that road, and we'll see how that plays out. That should let my trucks get in and out of there a little bit quicker. It should get them to and from the highway a little bit quicker. And so now I'm curious, have you leveled up? No, because your shipment is still terrible, because Oklahoma hasn't really had anything shipped just yet. That'd be why you're at 243, because we're not really moving too much down there, which, I mean, 121, could be better. We'll figure it out. It'll get there in time. Up this way, we have goods waiting for both Oklahoma and Huntsville, which is fantastic news as well. We also have goods going down to Salem, which, I mean, I've got it hitting the highway a little bit, which I guess is fair enough. I'm kind of wondering, I don't need them to go into Montgomery, do I? That's silly, having them go down this way. So if I take that out, they now just use this. Yeah, that seems a lot more sensible, to be perfectly honest. And you know, speaking of Salem, we do have a lot of trucks going back and forth here. So I think what I'm going to do as a final little thing today is I'm going to swap this out for a large country road the entire way across here. And then I think what I'm also going to do is swap this out for a much larger road as well, because it is very, very busy. It is going to mess with my buildings and my traffic a little bit. But if I do this, what I can do is then go ahead and add some bus lanes, which again have just been nothing but successful thus far. I don't think I need it here. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I need it on this road. I think that road will be fine if I just go ahead and do this, which again is sort of giving us essentially expressways for all of my trucks and all of my traffic. I don't know how realistic that necessarily is, but it's what we're doing. And basically nothing changes for the civilian population, but for my guys, they just have right of way on those lanes. So that should be great. That should speed things up back and forth there. I don't even know what we're hauling back and forth, to be honest with you. Oh, it's machines. Okay. That'll definitely make life easier. And you know, it has me so tempted to do the same thing on this road as well, because again, we're just sort of stuck in traffic right now. So you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's just see what we can do here. I think this guy can get swapped out for 6 lanes. We'll put some bus lanes on you as well. And hopefully we see this get good. And you know, I've got to be honest, it's not going so well for this road. I'm noticing that Oklahoma tools delivery, for example, is held back quite a bit here. We could probably just let it use this main road right here instead of sending it around to that waypoint. So we'll take the waypoint out, which sends it onto that main road, which I think is going to be the better choice. And then looking in here, we also happen to have some guys from Oklahoma slag to bricks, which is the line that comes in this way. Now, I'm kind of thinking that I did mention we could connect these guys together. I'm sort of thinking that's going to be a good idea. So let me try and do something that's not going to look too bad here. I'll do a little bit of road there, and we'll do a little bit of road right about here. And I'm hoping I can get you guys to sort of connect together nicely, which I guess that's good enough. So that'll be all right. But my thinking for this guy is that we could have it cut straight across the top of the town instead of going down and through it. And I want to say that's going to be a better idea. And I want to say that's going to give us a little bit more efficiency. So Oklahoma City South to, let's see, Montgomery Waypoint 1. So after you, I want you to cut straight across to there. I think. I want to say that's what I want you to do. I think. And then you head out that way. So after Oklahoma City West, you kind of go that way, which is fine. I need you to go to here instead. And now once the autosave's done, I'm kind of hoping this heads in the direction that I want it to. I think we're going to need more waypoints to actually make this happen, because it looks like it's coming in and it's hitting this avenue, which is honestly, it's not the end of the world, to be completely honest with you. We could have it use that avenue, because we could, if I wanted to, put some, I could put some bus lanes on that as well. It's not actually a very busy avenue either, so I wouldn't be against doing that. So I think maybe that's what we do. I think we go ahead, we upgrade this stretch of road to have more lanes, and I think we just say that this entire thing now, I need to make sure I'm using the right type of road as well, which I am. I think this entire thing just gets some bus lanes, and that's going to make it easy for whatever traffic I have going through here to get around. This guy up here is, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's a little bit busy. In fact, that entire road to Oklahoma is crazy busy, or Montgomery is crazy busy. So, I mean, yeah, it would be nice using these lanes. It might get stuck in traffic here. I want to say I can upgrade this as well, and I think we'll be okay. And so I think what we do now is we just take out that number 5 waypoint, which does what for us exactly. So you come down that way, you cut across, you still head out in the same direction, which I don't want you to do. So now I just need a waypoint that goes in this direction. We want to manage that line and say go to this waypoint, which you're now doing, and now it is avoiding all of this traffic. which is absolutely perfect. That should make it a little bit more efficient. It's not going to get stuck down here anymore. So I have to imagine that's going to be good for us. And honestly, if I did keep some lines on that road, I'm looking at the way traffic is right now. It's all my traffic in that rightmost lane anyway. So I almost want to say that I probably could swap this out to have some bus lanes, at least on these sections around the bus stop itself. So basically here it's going to have some bus lanes as well. And then up to about that main intersection as well is also going to have the bus lanes. So that is hopefully going to make life much easier for all of my traffic in and around Oklahoma City, which is sort of the goal of today's episode, as well as getting the goods in here and the goods over to Huntsville as well, which we've done. So now that we have all of this improved public transport, in theory, I'm noticing that there's now 629 people wanting to go to Salem Transfer, which is a ridiculous number of people. There's not that many waiting in Montgomery, but basically we're going to need some bigger trains because it's a lot of people. It's just a lot of people, but that's something I think we can get away with in the next episode, because as it stands, this one is going on a little bit as they usually do, but I think we've made a really good dent. Well, we've definitely made a dent in Oklahoma because we've completely changed the road layouts a little bit, but things are moving around Oklahoma now a lot better than they were before. It's aiming for 3,353 people. Currently has 2121, which is great. So things are improving. And I think the bus lanes are going a very, very long way towards contributing to that improvement. So we'll go ahead and leave things there for today. I'm quite happy with where we are. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.